Hello, this is my case study for educational law. So the first thing we want to look at is what do we know about this case? We know that Miss Walker is a second-year high school teacher in an area where parents come from having jobs such as doctors, lawyers, and have a lot of money. In her previous years of teaching, she received complaints from parents saying that her class was causing high stress levels in their students. They were worried about their students' grades being affected, which could affect their ability to be valedictorian. She has also received the same complaints this year. We know that over the weekend, Miss Walker received an email with a link to a website. This website contained vulgar comments about her and what was taken to be a death threat, making her very uneasy. Miss Walker immediately contacted the school's principal, Dr. Forbes, to report the website, forwarded him the email so that he could see it for himself. She mentioned what student she thought might be responsible for it. The principal said that while he thought it was a prank, he would look into it further the next school day. What we need to know is we need to know who was the creator of this website. Who has been given access to this website? Has it been sent out to everybody in the school? Has it been sent out to just her class? Who are the commenters? What students are making these comments? Most importantly, we need to know who made the threat. We also need to know, have any of the previous complaints about Miss Walker been documented by either herself, Dr. Forbes, or both of them? What is the problem? Students who are unhappy with the way their teacher is running her class have switched from complaining to posting vulgar comments and threats on the internet. Miss Walker no longer feels safe at home or at school. So the first step that needs to be taken to help resolve this issue is that all pages of the website need to be printed out. These need to be kept in hard copy, so that way there is proof that these threats and comments have been made. As soon as the students learn that this is being investigated, most likely the website is going to come down by whoever put it up, in hopes that it will be untraceable. The school's tech department needs to be contacted to see, can they trace the email? Can they find the creator of the website? Or what resources can they use to help figure out who has created this website in the comments? All information needs to be provided to the school's resource officer. Schools have resource officers to help make sure that their staff and students are safe. The information needs to be provided to the resource officer so that the resource officer can take the actions he's been trained to do in case of threats. All previous information, complaints, information about Ms. Walker's teaching needs to be gathered as evidence. Next, all of the students need to be reminded that there is a zero tolerance policy for these types of offenses. In addition, they also need to be aware of what consequences come from this. Next, they need to make sure that Ms. Walker feels safe at work. This could be making sure that there is always someone with her. This could be letting her have a few days off. This could be having people in there observing her class, watching her teaching, and seeing what students seem to be acting differently. And last, there need to be steps developed to ensure that this is not an issue that will ever come up again. Resolving the issue. I think that it is important for the success of all students that this issue is resolved promptly and efficiently. Disciplinary actions have to be taken against the student responsible. The actions need to follow the zero tolerance policy. If you are to allow a student to get away with this with no consequences, you open risks for repeat offenses because students will see that one student got away with it and believe that they can get away with it as well. Dr. Forbes really needs to be observing Miss Walker's class to determine what Miss Walker can do to improve her instruction. in the classroom. Dr. Forbes should also speak in all classes about the expectations of the students' conduct, both inside and outside of the school. He needs to let the students know that anything that makes threats or anything involving anything else in the zero tolerance policy will affect the students inside of school. One of the things I was wondering is what mentoring and observation program does the school district have? We know that a lot of people were complaining about Miss Walker's teaching. However, what we don't know is, had Mr. Forbes ever observed her teaching to make decisions on what she needs to improve and give suggestions? Or was all he doing listening to the word of parents and wanting to please the parents? And therefore, instead of abdicating for his teachers like Miss Walker, just listening to the parents and allowing what he tells his teacher to do based on what he is hearing from the parents. I was feeling a little bit that Dr. Forbes, while a good principal, he might allow the parents to control the school. There is no proof in the case study that he had ever watched Miss Walker teach or that he agreed that she was having way too high stress and her expectations were too high. Miss Walker had high expectations. She wants to prepare her students for their future outside of high school. However, being a new teacher, she still needs help and mentoring to ensure that she is reaching that goal in a way that is productive to all of her students. So what we still need to know is which student sent this email. We also really need to know what student created this website in the first place. We also need to know what student is responsible for the comment that made Miss Walker feel threatened. We need to know what can be done to prevent this from happening again. What steps should we take? We need to know what steps need to be taken to determine Ms. Walker's effectiveness as a teacher. Since this was the cause of the threat, it's important to make sure that there are actions taken to see what is she doing, what can be done better, and what can Dr. Forbes do to protect his teachers and his staff. One of the important things of being an administrator is understanding the issue and working quickly and effectively with fairness to resolve the issue. In this case study, acting in a calm way. You can't assign blame to any particular student without proof. No consequences can be given to students without proof that they have indeed committed the offense. You need to determine a way to investigate who made the threats. In this, it was contacting the district's tech department and contacting the school's resource officer. Also making sure that during the time, keeping the teacher safe. Even though he thought it was a prank, he needs to take it seriously because it was taken as a threat. One of the things is holding all students to the same standards, continuing to enforce a zero tolerance policy that keeps students and staff safe. As an administrator, it's really important to not let students get away with things that go against certain policies. Disciplinary actions have to be taken against the student responsible, in keeping with the school's policies. You need to review with the students the school's expectations, making it known to the students that there is a zero tolerance policy in place and what actions will be taken against them if they are to break these. Another thing is making sure never to draw blame on any student, waiting until there is that proof to take the action. An administrator also needs to be accessible, fair, caring, and understanding. By allowing the staff to have your number for emergencies that occur outside of school, it lets that open communication be there to always get in contact with your staff if needed. Taking actions to advocate for the well-being of staff. Ensuring that the staff is taken care of. One job of the administrator is to ensure that their staff is safe at all times. And you also need to be understanding of how the teacher's feeling. Understanding that the teacher felt threatened and unsafe. Taking actions to ensure that Ms. Walker knows the issue will be addressed and actions will be taken to make sure she is safe is as important as an administrator to any teacher who feels threatened in their school.